Man, what they do, Sniper Crew? Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Sniper. We back in this motherfucker with another reaction video, man. We on the road to 1,500 subs. So if you're new here, go ahead and smash the like button and go ahead and drop a sub. You feel me? Y'all already know what's going on with Boston Richey, so I don't really gotta explain the backstory too much. But if you don't, you finna find out, because they always start with a backstory. Shout out Melanin Scope. You know, we here to see what you talking about. You feel me? So y'all lock in. I'ma hide in a bitch right now. So if you see me back here smashing my spaghetti, y'all get some now. I'm a real nigga, man. You know, dap me up. I'm a real nigga, man. I share, man. We share around here. Now, when I'm over here smashing my spaghetti, bro, don't say I ain't give y'all nothing. Leave me alone. Okay? I'm fried. So we finna get into it, man. Shout out Melanin Scope, man. I ain't even finna lie to ya.
Clout, whatever it is, and they can expose your tendencies to the world. That's scary, bro. That's scary, bro. That's some personal shit. Now we all know this nigga like dick in his ass. And it may not necessarily be that he like dick in his ass. It may be some shit he like fake dick in his ass. And I don't even know what's worse. And it's like, to be honest, that's not my business. If that's what he like, that's what he like. Just don't do no weird shit. Here's the thing, though. Niggas like weird shit. It's not weird to them. You get what I'm saying? To you, you might think getting a toy dick in your ass is weird. But to Boston Richey, shit, nigga. That's his type. That's what he like. If what she's saying is true. She was 17 max. Now that,
oh yeah, she was.
That I can't speak on that because that's wild as fuck. You getting paid by 7? That's wild as fuck. Come on. That is crazy.
That's sick.
The situation surrounding Boston Richey has quickly escalated into one of the most controversial and career-threatening moments of his life, as serious allegations surfaced online from his ex-girlfriend Tatiana Chanel. What began as a wave of accusations on social media has now evolved into a full-blown public scandal involving claims of abuse, manipulation, and deeply troubling behavior that has shaken both fans and the wider hip-hop community. At the center of this controversy are claims made by Tatiana Chanel, who took to the internet to share her side of the story. She posted messages, alleged evidence, and personal statements that painted a disturbing picture of her past relationship with Boston Richey. According to her, the relationship began when she was significantly younger, raising serious questions about legality and ethics. These claims alone were enough to spark outrage, but the situation intensified when she added further allegations involving coercion, control, and mistreatment. The internet reacted almost instantly. In today's digital age, public opinion forms within minutes, and in this case, it formed harshly. Social media users began dissecting every piece of information released. Screenshots, timelines, and past interviews were all pulled into the spotlight. The narrative quickly turned against Boston Richey, with many people concluding that the evidence presented was too serious to ignore. Adding fuel to the fire, popular hip-hop commentator DJ Academics discussed the situation publicly. Academics referenced some of the posts made by Tatiana Chanel and highlighted how damaging they appeared. His involvement brought even more attention to the allegations, as his platform reaches millions of viewers who actively engage with hip-hop news and controversies. Once
Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna let the video play, but I'm gonna go check on my dog.
a figure like Academics speaks on a situation, it often amplifies the discussion to a much larger scale. Tatiana Chanel's claims didn't stop at general accusations. She described specific incidents that, if true, would be extremely serious. Among these were allegations of being transported against her will and being placed in vulnerable situations where she felt unsafe and unable to seek help. These statements triggered a wave of concern, but also skepticism from some corners of the internet. Questions were raised about inconsistencies, timelines, and the lack of immediate legal action at the time the alleged events occurred. This split reaction is typical in high-profile cases. On one side, there are those who believe the accuser and demand accountability. On the other, there are those who question the validity of the claims and urge caution before drawing conclusions. However, regardless of where people stand, the damage to Boston Richey's reputation was immediate and severe. Boston Richey eventually responded to the allegations. In his response,
wrong with
he
the dog?
denied the
He was
claims
having a
and
nightmare
framed the
chat.
situation as an attempt to tarnish his name. He expressed frustration, suggesting that someone was trying to bring him down by spreading narratives online. He emphasized that he had nothing to gain from addressing the situation publicly but felt forced to defend himself due to the scale of the accusations. In his statement, Boston Richey also spoke about his relationship with Tatiana Chanel, describing it as something personal that he chose not to expose publicly out of respect. He suggested that relationships can be complex and that airing private matters online often leads to misinterpretation. However, critics argued that his response did not directly address the most serious allegations, which only fueled further speculation. Another layer to this controversy involves Boston Richey's past. Before this situation, he had already faced criticism due to claims that surfaced years ago regarding alleged cooperation with law enforcement. These accusations had already impacted his credibility within certain parts of the hip-hop community, where loyalty and reputation carry significant weight. The current
Where the fuck Future been at? We might have to go on a side quest and find Future, bruh. Cause when Future was here, nigga wasn't doing shit like this.
allegations have now compounded those earlier issues, creating a narrative that is difficult to escape. The mention of figures like Sean Combs and R. Kelly in online discussions further intensified the situation. These comparisons, though often exaggerated in internet discourse, reflect how seriously people are interpreting the allegations. Both Diddy and R. Kelly have faced major controversies of their own, and being mentioned in the same context places Boston Richey in an extremely negative light. There is also the question of industry support. Boston Richey has been associated with Future, a major figure in hip-hop. In situations like this, industry connections can either provide support or create distance. So far, there has been no strong public defense from major figures, which many interpret as a sign that the industry is taking a cautious approach. In controversial cases, silence often speaks volumes. Public perception plays a massive role in determining the outcome of such situations. For artists who have a strong fan base and years of credibility, controversies can sometimes be weathered over time. However, Boston Richey does not have the same level of established influence as some bigger names in the industry. This makes it much harder for him to recover, especially when the allegations are this serious. Another important factor is the nature of internet culture. Scandals spread rapidly, and narratives can become fixed.
Boston Richey big as hell. The whole world was just saying, I'm trying to get my life together. Leave these hoes alone. Come on, bro, don't do that. And even before that, he had some hits. I just can't think of them because I'm fried right now. But he definitely left the hoes alone, all right, nigga. He left the hoes alone. This nigga a freaky fuck. He get pegged in his booty hole.
Before all facts are known. Once a person is labeled negatively online, reversing that perception is incredibly difficult. Even if new information emerges later, the initial impression often sticks. In Boston Richey's case, the speed and intensity of the backlash suggest that his public image has already taken a major hit. There are also legal implications to consider. Allegations of this nature, if pursued formally, could lead to investigations and potential charges. At this stage, much of what is being discussed exists in the realm of public opinion rather than confirmed legal findings. However, the seriousness of the claims means that legal scrutiny is always a possibility.
Clout, whatever it is, and they can expose your tendencies to the world. That's scary, bro. That's scary, bro. That's some personal shit. Now we all know this nigga like dick in his ass. And it may not necessarily be that he like dick in his ass. It may be some shit he like fake dick in his ass. And I don't even know what's worse. And it's like, to be honest, that's not my business.
Yeah,
if that's what he like, that's what he like. Just don't do no weird shit. Here's the thing though. Niggas like weird shit. It's not weird to them. You get what I'm saying? To you, you might think getting a toy dick in your ass is weird. But to Boston Richey, shit, nigga. That's his type. That's what he like. If what she's saying is true. She was 17 max. Now that, oh my gosh, that, I can't speak on that because that's wild as fuck. You getting paid by 7, that's wild as fuck.
But this shit just fucking...
That is crazy.
From a career standpoint, the timing could not be worse. Boston Richey was still building his name in the industry, trying to establish himself as a rising artist.
No, he's
Instead
not.
of being known for his music, he is now being discussed primarily in the context of controversy.
Now, Melanin, man. Stop bullshitting, man. Hold on. Where the fuck, bro? Melanin, man. Hold on. Where the fuck is Safari? Because I can't remember the songs off the top of my damn head. Hold on. Hold on, chat. Hold on. This nigga had TikTok in a chokehold with that certified dripper, exotic bitch. She come from overseas. I'm sexing her. Evangeline, I'm in my bag. I'm picking cash up. Come on, stop playing with that, man. Okay, hold on. Watch how I move. I don't do the shit these other niggas. Bro, come on, bro. This nigga had 2022 in a chokehold. This nigga, bro. Melanin, stop playing with Boston, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not defending him for that reason. But then he had Help Me, Keep Dissing Too, which had Dirk on it. Bro, stop it. Stop it, bro. Stop it. He's known. He's just a freak.
This shift in narrative can be devastating for an artist's growth, as labels, collaborators, and sponsors often avoid association with individuals facing serious allegations. The hip-hop community has seen similar situations before. Some artists have managed to recover after controversies, while others have seen their careers effectively end. The difference often comes down to the strength of their fan base, the clarity of the facts, and how they handle the situation publicly. In Boston Richeys' case, his response has not been enough to shift public opinion in his favor. Meanwhile, voices like 1090 Jake have also contributed to the ongoing narrative by revisiting past allegations and adding context to the current situation. This has created a cumulative effect, where multiple controversies are being discussed together, making it even harder for Boston Richeys to separate himself from the negativity. At its core, this situation highlights the power and danger of social media. It allows individuals to share their stories and hold others accountable, but it also creates an environment where accusations can spread rapidly without verification. The truth often becomes difficult to determine, especially when both sides present conflicting narratives. For Boston Richeys, the road ahead is uncertain. If the allegations are proven false, he will still face the challenge of rebuilding his reputation. If they are proven true, the consequences could be far more severe, both legally and professionally. Either way, the situation has already left a lasting impact on his career. For Tatiana Chanel, speaking out has brought attention to her claims, but it has also placed her under intense scrutiny. In high-profile cases, accusers often face as much public examination as the accused. Every detail of her story is being analyzed, questioned, and debated, which can be an overwhelming experience. The broader conversation also touches on issues within the music industry itself. Allegations involving power dynamics, relationships, and misconduct are not new, but each case adds to the ongoing discussion about accountability and change. Fans are increasingly demanding transparency and responsibility from artists, which is shaping how these situations unfold. As of now, there is no definitive resolution. The situation continues to develop, with new reactions, opinions, and potential information emerging regularly. What is clear, however, is that Boston Richeys is facing one of the most challenging moments of his career. The key question remains: can he recover from this? History shows that redemption is possible in some cases, but it requires time, clarity, and often a shift in public perception. Right now, the odds appear stacked against him. This controversy serves as a reminder of how quickly things can change in the digital age. One moment, an artist is building momentum. The next, they are at the center of a storm that threatens everything they have worked for. And as the conversation continues, the world is watching closely, waiting to see what happens next. The fallout from the allegations surrounding Boston Richeys didn't just stop at the initial wave of shock. It evolved into
I'll be right
something
back,
much
y'all. I'm
deeper,
gonna put y'all on
something
chat.
more layered, and far more damaging than a typical online controversy. What started as a series of posts from Tatiana Chanel quickly spiraled into a narrative that began reshaping how people viewed not just the artist, but the entire ecosystem around him. As more people began analyzing the situation, timelines became a central focus. Internet investigators, often referred to as digital detectives, started piecing together dates, ages, locations, and interactions. They revisited old photos, past social media posts, and even lyrics from Boston Richeys' music, trying to find any connection that could either support or debunk the claims being made. In the modern era, nothing stays buried. Every digital footprint becomes evidence, whether relevant or not. One of the most damaging aspects of the situation is the allegation regarding age. Claims that a relationship may have begun when Tatiana Chanel was underage have triggered intense backlash. In the court of public opinion, allegations involving minors carry a level of severity that is almost impossible to recover from without clear and undeniable evidence to the contrary. Even the suggestion of such behavior is enough to permanently alter how an artist is perceived. Online conversations quickly escalated from speculation to outright condemnation. Hashtags began circulating, comment sections filled with heated debates, and reaction videos flooded platforms like YouTube and TikTok. Influencers, bloggers, and commentators all jumped into the discussion, each adding their own perspective. Some approached the topic cautiously, emphasizing the need for verified facts. Others were far more aggressive, declaring Boston Richey guilty based on the information available. Figures like DJ Academics played a significant role in amplifying the situation. His coverage brought millions of additional eyes to the controversy, and with that attention came even more scrutiny. Academics' commentary highlighted key elements of the allegations, but it also contributed to the viral nature of the story. In today's media landscape, once a major voice picks up a story, it rarely fades quietly. At the same time, comparisons to controversial figures such as R. Kelly and Sean Combs began trending in discussions. While these comparisons are often exaggerated by internet culture, they reflect the seriousness with which people are interpreting the allegations. Being mentioned alongside individuals who have faced major legal and ethical controversies places Boston Richey in an extremely difficult position, regardless of the accuracy of the comparisons. Boston Richey's response, intended to defend his name, had a mixed reception. Supporters argued that he had the right to speak out and deny what he believes are false claims. Critics, however, pointed out that his response focused more on general denials and emotional reactions rather than directly addressing the most serious accusations. In situations like this, clarity is crucial, and any perceived lack of it can deepen suspicion. His tone also became a topic of discussion. Some viewers interpreted his words as defensive and frustrated, while others saw them as an attempt to maintain composure under pressure. Body language, delivery, and phrasing were all dissected in reaction videos. In the age of viral content, even the smallest detail can become a major talking point. Meanwhile, Tatiana Chanel continued to stand by her claims. Her willingness to share personal experiences publicly added weight to her narrative for many observers. However, it also exposed her to intense criticism and questioning. Some people demanded more concrete evidence, while others accused her of seeking attention or financial gain. This kind of polarized reaction is common in high-profile disputes, where public opinion often splits into opposing camps. The involvement of commentators like 1090 Jake added another dimension to the story. By revisiting Boston Richey's past controversies, including earlier allegations about cooperating with law enforcement, the narrative expanded beyond the current situation. It became less about a single set of accusations and more about a pattern of behavior, at least in the eyes of critics. This cumulative effect is particularly damaging. When multiple controversies are discussed together, they reinforce each other, creating a perception that is harder to challenge. Even if some claims are unrelated or unproven, they contribute to an overall image that can be difficult to change. Industry reaction, or the lack of it, has also been notable. Boston Richey's association with Future has led many to question whether he will continue to receive support from within the industry. In situations like this, silence from major figures can be interpreted in different ways. Some see it as a strategic decision to avoid controversy, while others view it as a sign of distancing. Record labels, sponsors, and collaborators often take a cautious approach when allegations arise. Protecting their own reputation becomes a priority, and this can lead to projects being delayed, canceled, or quietly shelved. For an artist who is still building their career, this kind of disruption can be devastating.
Why does he keep saying that he's still building his career, bro? We all know who Boston Richey is, bro. Stop it.
Another important aspect of this situation is the role of audience attachment. Established artists with loyal fan bases sometimes receive the benefit of the doubt during controversies. Their fans are more likely to defend them, question accusers, and wait for official outcomes. Boston Richey, however, does not have the same level of widespread loyalty. This makes it easier for public opinion to turn against him quickly. The concept of cancel culture also plays a significant role here. In recent years, public figures have faced rapid backlash for alleged
So, man, we already knew this shit, man. Alright, man. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, man.